Hi, and thank you for watching the Focus Gaming Turn 8 kill video. In this video, I will explain our one tank method for downing turn 8 and explain the order that we do for our towers. In the beginning, we have all of our DPS, including healers, except for the melee, stack to the behind the avatar. As soon as the towers are ready, we have 3 people each take 1 stack from the left tower, which is what a Dread Knight will spawn from. As soon as each person has their stack, Dread Knight spawns. Once this Dread Knight is spawned, we stop DPS, wait for the tank to establish hate, and then we burn it down. During this, healers have a very, very easy time. All we have to do is keep the tank up. As you can see off to the right, that right tower, marked A, is going to be a pulse AoE damage tower. As soon as that green bar gets to the top and the orange top light starts blinking, it warns you that a pulse will be coming out that will damage the party. The scholar puts a bubble down to help mitigate as much damage as possible because it can deal quite a large amount. As you get ready for that damage, precast sucker, and then your white mage should either do a cure 3 or a medica. After that is complete, you continue to DPS down the boss and get ready for the next set of towers. You will start with one of your DPS taking a stack from the mines, which is marked as C, and then they will take that stack and wait for it to pop. Second DPS goes over and he takes a stack. Now you wait and prepare for landmines to drop down. Once the landmines are down on the ground, you have 3 designated people. Each take us, we've broken ours down into quadrants. You have 3 designated people take one of each of those landmines because it does take a huge chunk of life away. Once those 3 people have exploded those mines, you continue moving forward until the next set of towers. Now be careful when you take those landmines. You do not want to be next to anybody when they're exploding one. They do have a very large AoE range. Next, you see Scholar puts down another bubble. You're preparing for that. And yet again, another cure 3 or a medical 1, and then you continue to try and top everybody off. This is a small grace period for recovery. These big circles that you see on the ground, for the large ones, you need 2 people in each one. For the small ones, you need 1 other person in each one. Oftentimes, they will be stacked together. Here, we go early again to get the Dread Knight to spawn. This time, we only have 2 people take a stack. And as soon as the tank is ready, he calls for the 3rd stack, and that will pop the Dread Knight. Same thing, we hold DPS and wait for the tank to establish hate before burning it down. We usually pop Eye for an Eye, Adloquium, anything on the tank to try and mitigate as much damage since there is only the 1. As soon as this Dread Knight is down again, the Scholar will throw down 1 more bubble to prepare for the next AoE damage pulse that will be coming out. Get everybody topped off, suckers, bubble, and you prepare for the next set. That bar is blinking. It will be coming down in just a few seconds. Tank's brainjack wore off. This is usually when the explosion is. As soon as that happens, you top off the person who was getting hit by the brainjack because they do tend to get hit pretty hard afterwards. You have the bindings on the ground again. You have 2 go to the one that's in the front for the big circle, and 1 person join the person in the back with the little circle. It is very random who it chooses, so you have to think on your toes for that part. The next set of towers are again another AoE pulse and landmines. As soon as these towers are ready, we wait for landmines to pop. Once those landmines have popped out, we will prepare again for the AoE Pulse Tower. Grace period for recovery. There we go. Each designated person goes to their area and they kill 1 of those landmines. Now these have to explode within a certain time period or it will blow up the whole group. Next, after this brainjack wears off again, once the landmines are complete, we get ready for the next set of AoE pulse. Brainjack's wearing off, party's getting ready for the pulse. Med 2's going to go out. Everybody's getting topped off. Bindings are out again. You have to pay attention. If there's two people stacked on top like that, nobody needs to be in the circle with them. They will cancel each other out and there will be no damage given. Next, we have two people go over to the mines side and each take one stack. Now we try to break this up a bit because we can't have the same two melee as before taking a stack because they will take that much more increased damage from receiving a stack for the tower. So we split it up into two more people who don't have a stack on them yet. You can make it any two people that you like that aren't going to need a stack in the next minute or so before it wears off. Landmines come out, same thing as before. Designated people go to their spots, take the landmines, start topping people off again. Next, after this, will be a Dread Knight. Start to get ready for the Dread Knight. As soon as the Dread Knight pops, the tank will start to get hate. We will hold DPS again and wait for him to establish hate before we start damaging it, or else you can wipe the whole party because it does have a cleave. Dread Knight is up. Tank has it. Bindings are also out during this time. So for this one, it's a little one inside a big one. So you only need one person to stand on a ring on the outside to make sure there's enough people in the circle to not kill anybody. Dread Knight's down. Next set of towers are up. Melee goes in, takes one stack from the back or from C tower. Tank goes in and takes one stack from B tower. And then another melee takes another stack from B tower. You do this so that they are separated out enough to where you have a small second or two in between each tower to top everyone off before the next one blows up, because that back B tower is a pulse tower. That B tower is now gone, so you will prepare. Allegan Field's also coming out during this time. The person with Allegan Field cannot take any damage whatsoever. Any damage that person takes is multiplied and dealt as AoE damage once that Allegan Field is worn off. So we have the person with Allegan Field stay behind everybody else in the party out of range of any possible damage. Mine phase is out. Explosion from the Allegan Field. No, they did not take any damage, so we are clear and no one else takes damage. That person then goes over to the A tower and explodes A tower once their Allegan Field has worn off and before the next Allegan Field is cut loose. Once the Allegan Field is out again, we have that person, which is our Black Mage, go out, and then they are sit in the back as well. Here we have two people take a stack from A. And as soon as that Allegan Field explodes on our Black Mage, the Black Mage will then go over to A and make it explode. Bubbles go down, heals go out, and you get ready for the landmine phase. When you see those little lasers on people, you want them, whoever has that, to be stacked on top of the group because it's a laser that spreads damage out to whoever is around it. So if the more people you have there, the less damage dealt out to everyone. Allegan Field explodes. Person with Allegan Field comes back and joins, and landmines are up. Landmines are going to be exploded by your designated people. Another Allegan Field goes out. We start to top everyone off again. Lasers on the group. They stack for the laser. And they prepare for the Dread Knight that's popping. Dread Knight has popped. Tank receives hate. And then we start to DPS it down. At this point, you are burning it. Most groups should be able to ignore this Dread Knight and just continue to burn down the avatar. Our group is at that point now, but when I recorded this video, we weren't quite there yet, so we had to kill it or it would have wiped us. But most groups are geared enough now to where you can straight burn it through. As you can see, same thing happens again with towers, just in case. But by that point, the avatar should be dead. If you have any questions or comments or need more clarity on something in this video, please comment below or in the forum posts, and I will get back to you just as soon as I see these. Thanks for watching, and you have a great day.